All right, Shalom. For the first, we'll give our praise, glory, and honor to Yah, Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Hamakah, Kodash, Bakathum. Double honor to the apostle, the elder, the great millstone, and to our document across the globe. Teach the word, truth, and sincerity. Want to say Shalom. Sadai now from the great millstone camp in Chicago. With a quick little hit, I was just scrolling through some social media today and came across this little video by Trevor Noah. He's a comedian, and he had put together some clips, some news clips of various reporters around the world describing what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. All right, and the way they described it is totally the feelings of the Edomites when it comes to them. All right, so I'm gonna play it. If I get a strike, oh well. Here we go.
Because I guess what? The darkies were built for it? I mean, you see how they run in the Olympics, Peter. Clearly God. Interesting thing that I learned. And that is, a lot of people on TV didn't expect a war like this to happen in, let's say, certain neighborhoods.
This is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
These are prosperous middle-class people. These are not people trying to get away from areas in North Africa. They look like any European family that you would live next door to.
What could be a difference here from other conflicts, that could seem very far away, in Africa or Middle East or whatever. I mean, these are Europeans that we're seeing being killed.
This isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
Wow. That was you choosing your words carefully? That was the careful version? So what were you going to say if you weren't choosing your words carefully? I just hope the next time this happens, it happens back in the Middle East where it belongs. Here's the thing, people. Here's the thing. Beyond the racism, right? Let's forget the racism. Oh, how I wish we could forget about the racism. You do realize that until very recently, fighting crazy wars was Europe's thing. That was Europe's entire thing. That's all of European history. They even had something called the 100 Years' War. You understand how long that is? That's like a decade. They got a Nobel Prize because they stopped fighting. Imagine that. Now people are going to be like, oh, to see this in Europe, to see this. Like, I'll tell you now, I don't know about you, but I was shocked to see how many reporters around the world, by the way, seem to think that it's more of a tragedy when white people have to flee their countries. Because I guess what? The darkies were built for it? I mean, you see how they run in the Olympics, Peter. Clearly God has given them this talent for a reason. I totally agree. I mean, even if this wasn't a war, these people would probably be fleeing their homes for fun. It's just who they are. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, so there you have it. You got the opinion and the views of these Edomites. All right, who actually think they're better than us, man. All right, so we'll get a couple of precepts. Ezekiel 35:5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and thou shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time that the calamity the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. All right, and talking about the Edomites here in America, but this is the traits of Esau as a whole, man. All right, Russia and them areas, areas over there have always been volatile. All right, they've always had wars and what do you call them? Not insurgents, but they always had rebellion groups. All right, in their country fighting against the government, man. All right, you can go to Ukraine, you can go to Bosnia, Herzegovina, Serbia, okay? Even in Poland, all right? Even in Ireland, even though a lot of Irish are Jake, these countries have a lot of internal fighting, man, that's been going on for years, man. You see, but this is Esau's blessing is the sword, all right? His blessing is to what? To conquer lands, all right? Conquer lands and and to oppress a man in his heritage, even if his own, even if it's his own. You see, and heard a lot of people. You heard a lot of reporters saying this is North Africa or Iran or Iraq. Basically saying those people who are living, basically saying those people who are darker skin tone than brown people are animals and uncivilized, man. And we all know that if it wasn't for the Israelites, the Native Americans, the Latinos, and the Negroes, society and medicine and science and agriculture and architecture wouldn't have gone very far without our inclusion, man. You see? Pressure speak loftily. This is Psalm 37. Psalm 37, let's start at 1, we'll go down. It's Psalm 73 and 1. That truly the Most High is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But for me, my feet were almost gone, my steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in the deaf, but their strength is firm. All right, and Putin is proud, man. All right, along with Biden. All right, along with the Ukrainian president. All right, the Edomites are proud, man. All right, and in their pride, they're gonna get brought down low. Okay, but also that through all the years that Russia has so-called been sleek, what they've been doing, they've been building up their military, man. All right, which is one of the most powerful militaries in the world. All right, and these people, the bankers who are financing these wars, all right, they're prospering, man. All right, NATO and EU and they're prospering. How are they prospering? Because their doctrine, their democracy, all right, is got a lot of these nations drunk and full of that wine, to where they're able to use that as a tool, all right, for them to either get in line or to get rolled over. You see? For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble with other men, neither are they played like other men. Or now they're gonna get or they're beginning to get plagued, man. All right, hey, these elites and these the war financiers, hey, they're gonna receive a judgment too. All right, hey, they're not gonna be safe in them bunkers, man. They're not gonna be safe by escaping to England, by escaping to these uninhabited islands where they have underground missile bunkers, man. You see? All right. So therefore, their pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence covers them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their hearts could wish. And this is just a character trait of Esau, man. They're violent, man. Putin has always been violent. You look at their history. All right, they've had a lot of infighting in the so-called Soviet Union, or the former Soviet Union, man. The Ukrainians said they've been fighting Putin and them for 8 years, man. Whereas now they are corrupt and they speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walketh through the earth. All right, and they are corrupt and speak wickedly against oppression, man. All right, here we are. Here you have other nations, other dark nations, who are fleeing their place of the place of residency, lack of a better word. All right, but they call them uncivilized. The report kept talking about Europe and how civilized, and they're not a third world country. How could this be happening? Well, because you're the devil, man. Because you're violent. Because the Lord is actually bringing down the house of Esau, man. All right? your safety, your um, uh, your um, your pride, all right, is gonna get cut off, man. All right, and Lord willing, you know, this continue more and more till we get into what? To World War III, man. All right, because what? Because you have done nothing but rape, robbed, steal, killed, devoured the tribes, man. All right, and Magog or Russia, hey, you're just as guilty, man. You see, because you are Edomites. All right, you're a European Edomite, as opposed to these so-called American Edomites, but you're all Edomites, man. You see, and this is gonna be the reward of your labor, man, which is what? Destruction, man. All right. So they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore, the people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. You know, and hey, the other nations are mad, man. All right, it's gonna be a world war, man. You see? That's all I had. Just something real quick with that. I'm gonna say shalom.